Powerful assessment is actually something that goes well beyond just testing what people can say they know and can do, to actually engaging them with real world challenging moments that we know all graduates will have to face when they get out into practice. And those challenging moments often are full of, in a sense, wicked problems, not just clear problems with a clear solution. And they're always got a human dimension, not just a technical dimension. And they are punctuated with the sense of dilemma. What am I going to do here? I'm on a crossroads situation. I'm not sure which way to go. There's no right way to go. So how do I decide which way to go? So essentially, powerful assessment says of course we need to check before you graduate that you've got the skills and knowledge, but we want to know also that you've got the capability to apply what you know in unique, tricky moments. So essentially competence is, and I must say the term competence is used in various ways around the world, but for us, for the 3,600 people who've helped me co-create the self-teaching guide based on this fellowship, what we think is important is to distinguish between the skills and knowledge that you've got, and we're saying they are the competencies, the things you are able to do and show and talk about and understand, and the ability to read unique moments, both technical and personal. They could be opportunities for change and invention, they could be challenges where you've got to handle them in order to keep things moving. And that requires something far more nuanced than just a whole lot of skill and knowledge. It requires the ability of the human to read the interpersonal components of a situation, to read what's going on broadly as well as the technical bits, and that's more capability. So in a sense, what we've all said in the 3,600, as I said, that have helped me come up with this, is that sure, we need graduates who are work ready for today, and that's competence. They've got the skills and knowledge that you can hit the ground running with, but we also want them to be work ready plus for tomorrow. Well, this is interesting. So some universities would say we're not about vocational training, we're about a lot more, but the issue is who do you talk to? So if you talk to students who are accruing a significant debt, then they will say, look, I do actually want to be work ready. Like I'd like to have the skills and knowledge, the competencies that will enable me to be employed. If I'm going to be an accountant, I've got to have that. Thank you very much. I want to get a job. The plus is actually about something far more significant, both for the future of the country and for the harmonious life of the student themselves and the communities they live in. But it's also good economically for the country as well as socially and culturally and environmentally. And so the plus is actually being sustainability literate, being inventive and creative, being change implementation savvy, and understanding your values. And what we're saying in the fellowship outcomes is we need both. Well, the first thing is that there's no doubt that assessment drives learning, particularly for students. And so if you wanted to know what the university is trying to achieve, just go and look at the assessment tasks. Don't look at the publications, don't look at the course outlines, look at the assessment tasks. So if as a student you've been confronted endlessly with assessment tasks that say, regurgitate my textbook, which doesn't happen, but to make an extreme example, then that is essentially what they will learn. And that is what they will take with them. And that might make them work ready, but it will not make them work ready plus, for example. The second theme that's coming up all around the world is we're not looking enough at the fitness of purpose of higher education, and therefore to have powerful assessment of that. There's still too much looking at the fitness for purpose of assessment. In other words, let's not worry about the outcomes. Let's just make sure the marking's reliable, there's integrity in the marking, no one's cheating in this place. But you could have all of that thoroughness of assessment and you could be assessing rubbish. The third one we've just talked about, which is, therefore, if you're looking at the purposes of higher ed, it's not just to develop competent graduates, but capable ones. The fourth one is the need to apply the same quality assurance mechanisms we use to assure the quality of research around the world, which is peer review of what we're doing in our learning outcomes in assessment, just like we do in research. And that's peer review against multiple evidence points, against quality checkpoints, to assure us that the program level outcomes in universities are focusing on what we need for the future, not just for today, using the same quality assurance tools as we use for research. And that's an elegant way to assure government that they should not bother introducing a one-size-fits-all for example, collegiate learning assessment test, to rightfully assure the public that all the money going into higher education, learning and teaching is value for money. And the final one is, I think, the potential of information technology. And it has all sorts of potentials yet to be explored, including for assessment. For example, you can utilise online video challenges in a large-scale exam where people are being confronted with a real-world engaging dilemma, but it's all IT enabled. So you can scale dilemma-based learning, if you like, and assessment, rather than making sure people only get tested in the workplace, which is very hard to scale. The second dimension of information technology, which is really significant, I think, is the capacity for us to use it now to actually share good practice ideas with one another, not just within the discipline, but across disciplines. And as we know here at the university and the work we've been doing, there are groups reporting that some of the greatest things that they're getting out of the workshops that are being run is actually working across disciplines to get ideas for assessment tasks that are indeed powerful.